I first came to Hamilton when my family was transferred from a women's shelter in Toronto to one in this city. We had suffered a great many things: the violence of my alcoholic stepfather, extreme poverty, the isolation of both my brothers from the family, and repeated sexual assault. At the time, I was too consumed by my own vacillating anger and deep depression to realize what a great thing the people of Hamilton had done for me by providing my family a space in which to heal and grow. I thank you for that. Today, I serve as a facilitator of the Trans Peer Support Group in Hamilton. Through this service, I have made myself familiar with the realities transgender and gender non-conforming people face every day. According to the Trans Pulse Project to Inform Human Rights Policy, 35% of Ontarians who are transgender consider suicide each year, and 30% actually attempt it. This high rate of mental distress can be attributed to the pronounced minority stress transgender people experience. This kind of stress can be the result of external factors such as the loss of employment or experiences of violence, or internal factors relating to a transgender person's self-image. This may occur due to the expectation of rejection, concealment of their identity for reasons of safety, or internalized transphobia. It is easy to see how these internal factors might be improved by the adoption of this protocol. Indeed, in the meeting I facilitated to get feedback from the transgender and gender nonconforming communities, it became clear that many felt that the adoption of the protocol would affirm their gender identities and lead to less social stigma. The research mentioned earlier suggests that suicide attempts would drop from 30% to 8% with strong social support for transgender identities. It is by now a commonplace argument that allowing trans women to use facilities intended for women will open the door to sexual assault in those facilities from men pretending to be female. Last summer, a bus shelter ad campaign targeted precisely this concern using the language "competing human rights." There is no competition in this case. Trans women stand with women and girls in the struggle against sexual assault. How I wish some of the previous presenters had been with me all along. They could have proposed that men no longer be allowed to have the newspaper delivered to their door, thus preventing the first act of sexual aggression against me. Or they could have insisted that boys not be allowed to play hockey together, preventing a sexual assault perpetrated upon myself and my brother. Perhaps a powerful party member could be induced to demand that every person sleep in a room by themselves to prevent the ongoing sexual assault I endured for 6 months from a family friend. Or they could have warned me when, as an adult, I offered to let a friend sleep over because he had missed his last bus home. We know they would have done none of these things, for they claim to be concerned only about girls. But I don't believe they care about girls at all. It's an emotional appeal to your protective nature and to the fact that you care about girls, a fact that does you credit. But we're all a little too smart for that. To quote their favorite book, God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. In closing, I remind you of the great social wealth we are currently squandering by not providing assurances that transgender people can make a full contribution to the life of our fine city. I myself am an example, for I have repaid the city its kindness to me by making it known across the country in my poetry, for which the city itself has recognized me. I humbly ask that you pay myself and my trans sisters and brothers another kindness, for which you will be amply rewarded in the future.
Thank you, Autumn. Please, folks, I'm asking, please refrain from any outbursts, please, thank you. Are there any questions for Autumn? Seeing none, thank you, Autumn.